What's up, Miami boys? You know what it is. You know how we do. You know how we do it. It's me, your commish. Yes, my He-Man shirt came in. Lovely. You know how we do. You know how we do this. And let's go ahead. I don't gotta say it. You know, we go through the week that was in the NFL. Then you know that we go through the award-winning topics. Then we go through the Miami Boy Sleeper. And then we preview also, what are we going into? Week 5? Week 5, hold on. I want to make sure I'm not wrong. Yeah, we go through week 6. We go through week 6 of the previews in the NFL and also Miami Boys. So without further ado, let's get it started. All right, starting off Thursday, we had the Bears versus Commanders. You had the Bears win 40-20. Finally, for the first time this year, Justin Fields came alive. Went ahead, took care of business, threw multiple 3 touchdowns, 8 receptions, 230 yards to DJ Moore, and the Bears went 40-20. Finally, the Bears are starting to wake up. Hopefully, Luke Getsy finally gets it and continues this, because I own Justin Fields and I need it. Next up, Jaguars versus Bills. Jaguars beat the Bills 25-20. I guess the Bills had jet lag in London. Calvin Ridley came alive, 7 catches, 122 yards. Travis Etienne, 26 carries, 136 yards. Bills tried at the end. Stephon Diggs was pissed off. They lost too many people on defense, and the Jaguars, they're getting used to being in Europe. So that game didn't go that well for the Bills, but I'm a Dolphins fan, so who cares about the Bills? Next up, Texans versus Falcons. If you didn't know, Desmond Ridder is undefeated at home in college, and Desmond Ridder is undefeated at home in Atlanta. All his 2 losses for this year have come away from Atlanta. So Canes gang, get that in your head. Start Desmond Ridder at home, where he's undefeated. Don't start him on the road. And you'll have a winning formula. There, I helped you out. There you go. Texans lost 19-21 to the Falcons. It was a crap show of a game. It was horrible. Falcons pull it out. Desmond Ridder pulls it out over C.J. Stroud and the boys. They didn't use Bijan. They threw the ball way more in this game. You never know what the Falcons are going to do. They're a dumpster fire. I don't know what to do with Bijan. The Texans look good, but a lot of their players got hurt. Tank Dell went out with a concussion, and they still almost won the game. All right, moving on. Panthers versus Lions next. Lions, without Amon-Ra St. Brown, without Jahmyr Gibbs, blow out the Panthers 42-24. Bryce Young ain't it. You know, Adam Thielen has found the fountain of youth, but Bryce Young ain't it. Even though he had 3 TDs, 2 interceptions, the Panthers are in rebuild mode. So anybody that is thinking that the Panthers are going to do something this year, please temper expectations. The Lions are for real. Restore. How did Barry Sanders say one time? Restore the roar. The Lions are for real. And David Montgomery. I wish that when I owned you that you would have played that way in Chicago, but it wasn't you. It wasn't coaching. This shows you what a running back with volume can do and what good coaching can do for a team. So kudos to Dan Campbell for that. All right, moving on. Titans Colts. Anthony Richardson. I mean, again, third injury in 3 weeks, and now out for the foreseeable future. 4 to 8 weeks for you Anthony Richardson owners with a sprained AC joint. Zach Moss said to hell with the return of Jonathan Taylor, went off for 23 for 165. DeAndre Hopkins found the fountain of youth, went off for 8 for 140, even though it was in a losing effort. The Colts did just enough with Gardner Minshew to win. Titans went ahead and lost because they're doing this flip-flop of running back and they're not giving Derrick Henry the ball. So I don't know what Mike Vrabel is doing over there, but I don't know Derrick Henry, but I'm sure it's pissing off the Derrick Henry owners. Next up, we have the Dolphins versus Giants. Dolphins annihilate the Giants 31-16, even though it was at the loss of Devin Achane. We wish you a speedy recovery. Hopefully you'll be ready to go by the time we go over the pond to Germany for the Kansas City game. But don't worry, we won't miss a beat. We got you. Daddy Jeff Wilson Jr. is coming back. Excuse me, I got a little tongue-tied there. Jeff Wilson Jr. Let me take a drink on that. Jeff Wilson Jr. coming back for the Get Back with Mostert to feature the Thunder and Lightning combo. We don't miss a beat. We move 5-minute spread. Tyreek Hill 8 for 181. Now that JJ is out, Tyreek Hill will lead the league in yards and lead the league in catches. Hopefully he can go for the Triple Crown. Giants have no offensive line, no Saquon, no Danny Dimes, no Darren Waller. Their season is over. This is why they should have franchised Danny Dimes, paid Saquon, and worked on building up the offensive line. Their season is over. They will have a top 5 pick. Moving on. Patriots Saints. I hate the Pats, so I don't care. The last 2 weeks, they've done absolutely nothing. They've got obliterated 34-0 in this game. Mac Jones, sorry Canes gang, he looked like garbage. He's not the answer. I think secretly they're in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes. I think that I'm going to call it canning for Caleb. They're canning the season for Caleb. The Patriots, Bill Belichick, and the owner Robert Kraft have a handshake deal on where they are like, listen, we're going to tank. We're not going to do anything. And I knew that they were tanking when they named Mac Jones the starter. So they're tanking for the season. They're tanking to get a top 5 quarterback. Then they're going to kick Mac Jones to the curb or put him as a backup. But kudos to the Saints winning 34-0. Next up, Ravens lose to the Steelers 10-17. This game was an absolute stinker. For the Steelers to win this game, let me tell you how bad it is. Kenny Pickett had to audible out of the coach's play and call his own play on the touchdown to George Pickens. That's how bad it is in Steelerland. Fire the offensive coordinator. Fire the offensive coordinator. Kenny Two Gloves has skills. If not, you don't believe me? Go on YouTube, look at Kenny Pickett at Pittsburgh with Jordan Addison. He's got skills if you're a good play caller. The Steelers do not have it, and Matt Canada is not a good play caller. Fire Matt Canada. And let me tell you something. Who else should be fired is the Ravens offensive coordinator. I forgot his name. But 10 points? Now, granted, the receivers dropped everything, but this team has lost now to the Colts and has lost to the Steelers. Like, come on. Like, what are we doing, Lamar and the Ravens? What are we doing? Oh, Jesus. All right, next up. Eagles, the Tush Push Club. I'm going to call them the Tush Push Club. That's all they do is the freaking Tush Push. And I'm actually tired of seeing it on Sundays. They barely beat the Rams 23-14, who got Cooper Kupp back. A.J. Brown saved them because he couldn't be covered by the cornerback to the Rams. He had 6 for 127. The Tush Push had the touchdown, and he also threw for a touchdown. I'm starting to not like the Eagles, man. This whole Tush Push, and they're undefeated at 5-0, but they've basically done just enough to end up winning. I don't understand it. But kudos to them. Win 23-14. Get ready for the Dolphins next week. See you next week in Philly. Next up, Bengals, Cardinals. Jamar Chase, 7-11. I'm always effing open. 7-11 had 15 for 192, 3 TDs, and back to. I love it when a person talks a talk and then backs it up. The Cardinals tried. It wasn't enough. No T. Higgins. Mixon, 25 for 81. Joey B is starting to look more like himself. Kudos to the Bengals, 34 to 20. Next up, oh, Sean Payton. Sean Payton. My mom always told me, all who can't hear must feel. You put your foot in your mouth when you talked about the previous coach. And what did the previous coach do? He came back and beat you by 10. 31-21, and he was an honorary captain, and he got the game ball. You look like a fool. Blow it up, trade everybody. You're going to be top 5, draft another quarterback, and start over. That's the only advice I could give. Kudos to the Jets, even though I hate the Jets. But Breece Hall, unleashed. The coach didn't lie. 22 for 177 and a tutty. Kudos to that. We move. 5-minute spread, no sound. All right, Chiefs Vikings. Now let me. I'm gonna have to stop the music for this one, guys. I know that Travis Kelce's social media has been boosted with Taylor Swift by over 300, almost 600,000 new followers. I know that the NFL ratings, when Taylor Swift is in the press box, is boosted for the station that is showing the game. But this is just unacceptable. The refs cheated for Kansas City the whole game, and they went ahead on the last series. I don't know if you saw it, but it's over on Twitter or YouTube, whatever. Kirk Cousins, JJ goes out with a hamstring. That's already strike number 1. Next up, Kirk Cousins throws the ball. His hand gets hit after the ball is released. The receiver, Jordan Addison, gets pass interference by Snead. Snead pass interference. They don't call that. The guy takes off his helmet. They don't call that. And they don't call the roughing the passer. That's 3 penalties. Roughing the passer on Kirk Cousins. They went ahead and it's like, oh, the ball was tipped. I saw this, multiple referees gathering. Ball was tipped, all calls nullified. And then to add icing on the cake, the referee goes ahead and is caught on camera. Tells Willie Snead to put your helmet back on before you get a penalty. I know that you need the Chiefs. I know that you need the views and stuff like that, but to be cheated, and on top of that, to add insult to injury, the Vikings lose JJ for 4+ weeks with a hamstring injury, which their season is over because they're 1-4. They're not winning any more games. The Chiefs move on to 4-1, and let's see how much the NFL continues to help them. We move. Music back on. 49ers Cowboys. They didn't give me, nothing gives me more like a warm and fuzzy feeling inside to see the Cowboys get their ass beat. Because all these fake Cowboy fans. Glock Purdy, 42-10. Glock Purdy, 252, 4 TDs, 0 INTs on the year. You got to stop calling it luck now. The guy's good. That's why I call him Glock Purdy. He's good. George Kittle, 3 tutties, and the FU Cowboy shirt. Love it. 49ers are my pick to go to the Super Bowl in the NFC versus the Dolphins in the AFC. Kudos to the 49ers, who are now 5-0, along with the Eagles. Next up, we have the Monday night game, which is an absolute stinker. Don't put this. The NFL, you gotta do better with the matchups. Packers Ravens was a stinker. Jordan Love is Jordan Dove, as he threw multiple picks. Jimmy G didn't do any better. He threw a pick of his own, but they had enough to pull it out with the kickers. This game was ugly, and the Raiders win 17-13. Romeo Doubs, nothing. Devontae Adams, decoy. It was the Jacoby Myers show, and that was it. And this game was an absolute stinker unless you had Jacoby Myers or A.J. Dillon. So there you have it. There are your Week 5 matchups. Let's go into Week 6. Let's see the matchups for Week 6 starting tomorrow. Tomorrow we have Broncos Chiefs. If you have Amazon and you have nothing to do, then watch it. If you don't have anything to do, then don't watch it because there is nothing to watch. Chiefs in a blowout, we move. Ravens Titans, this is going to be an absolute stinker. A lot of kicking going on in this game, but I expect the Ravens to pull it out after that bad beat from last week. Receivers for the Ravens, catch the ball. Next up, Commanders Falcons. Another absolute stinker. Thank God it's at 1 o'clock. I expect the Commanders to come out furious, and I expect the Commanders, along with their defense, to pull this game out. But this game is at home for the Falcons. Canes game. Ding, 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 ding. Canes game. It's at home. Desmond Ridder, undefeated at home. So you know what I say. If you got him, start him. All right, moving on. Vikings Bears. No JJ. No defense. I expect the Bears to win this. In the battle of the 1-4 teams, I expect the Bears to pull this out. Seahawks Bengals. Seahawks 3-1, Bengals 2-3. We'll see if T. Higgins is back, but I expect this to be a moderate shootout. Temper expectations. But a moderate shootout, and I expect that the Bengals will win this game. But if the Seahawks won, I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. So we keep it moving. 49ers Browns. Browns coming off a bye week. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you a quick story. Do you guys remember when Tiger Woods was on top of the world? He was like banging like everybody under the sun. And the guy's game was at the top. He was like the guy. And then do you remember when he got caught? He got divorced. The wife got $1 billion with the 2 kids, everything like that, and he's never been number 1 again. Deshaun Watson, hurt. He's hurt now, and he might not play on Sunday. All right, they've already said it, and it's just Wednesday. Cleveland, I'm begging you. If you want to succeed, you already have David Njoku, who burnt his face off and burnt his arms or whatever in a backyard fire. Guys, be careful at the fire pit. Don't put the lighter fluid on the fire pit. But this guy, going up against the 49ers, he's missing his superpower. It's like Clark Kent with kryptonite. You guys gotta let this guy go to the Asian massage parlor. Let him go to the Asian massage parlor. He will come out like Superman for you on Sunday. Go to the Asian massage parlor under a secret identity, Mr. Massage, and get your rocks off. The Browns need you. But other than that, I'm taking Glock Purdy and the 49ers against the Browns. Not in a blowout. The Browns have too good of a defense for that. But I think the Browns will win this game. Let the guy please get a massage. Panthers, Dolphins. No need to talk about this one. Dolphins in a blowout. We move. Panthers go to 0-6. I expect 40-plus points from the Dolphins. Colts, Jaguars. Battle of the 3-2 teams. Divisional game. This game is going to be close, but I'm taking the Jaguars to come out on top because the Colts just don't have enough. Saints, Texans. I expect this one to be also closer than it is. Texans at 2-3, Saints at 3-2. I am picking the Saints because the Saints have the better defense. Patriots, Raiders. What an absolute stinker at 4:05. I expect the Raiders to win this because the Patriots are just that bad. And they are secretly tanking. Cardinals, Rams. Cardinals had that fight, but I expect the Rams, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua to pull this out. Eagles, Jets. Eagles on top in a blowout. Even though the Jets defense does probably keep this close, I expect the Eagles to win. Lions, Buccaneers. Buccaneers coming off the bye week. This is going to be a close one. Amon-Ra St. Brown should play. Lions in a close one. They win by 3 to 6 points. Giants, Bills. I don't know why this game is on Sunday night, but we should be able to start flexing. It is after week 5. NFL flex this game. Please flex this game. It's after week 5. Flex the game. The Giants are going to get murdered by the Bills, and it's not even going to be close. If I was Saquon, I wouldn't even play this game. Blowout. Bills over Giants. And Monday night, the return of Austin Eckler. The Chargers are back to full strength, minus Mike Williams, but I still expect the Chargers to pull this out and beat the Cowboys on Monday night. So there you have it. There is your Week 6 preview. Now we move on to... Let's go ahead and go over the topics before we get to the sleeper. All right. First up, we've changed, just to give you guys an update, we've changed some names on the categories. I have changed the 5 flyers. Now we're not going to associate numbers because there's too many guys doing stuff that I want to add. So you're hearing it now in week number 5. Going into week number 6. 5 flyers has now been changed to flying up the ranks. Flying up the ranks. We're documenting players that have done bad the week before, and they're flying up the ranks now. All right. So first up in flying up the ranks, Jamar Chase, Mr. 7-Eleven. You said that you were always effing open, and you proved it on Sunday, sir. Hopefully you can keep it going because it got Goggles stud of the week without any quarterbacks. So kudos to you, Goggles. Next up, Travis Etienne. Travis Etienne, it seems like it's been a bunch of a pattern. Travis Etienne, David Montgomery, Tajay Spears. Who else? Who else? Oh, Zach Moss. It's a pattern going on. When you have a running back and you know you're about to lose your job and they're on your ass, these running backs are putting up numbers. Travis Etienne, what you did in London, I'm sorry. In London, we got London on the track. All right. 26 for 138. See, that's another thing that you see with David Montgomery and you see with these running backs that are having success, like Travis Etienne on Sunday. 26 for 136, 2 TDs. I will say it till I'm blue in the face because I'm old school. The running backs that get the carries, they tend to produce more. Atlanta, take notes. Take notes. Travis Etienne, 26 for 136. I would love to see Bijan with 26 carries. Zach Moss, 23 for 165. Keeping it rolling. Alvin Kamara, 22 for 80 and a touch. Okay, keeping it rolling. Joe Mixon, 25 for 81. Breece Hall, 22 for 177. That is old school football. You give the guy the carry, he gets into a rhythm, he produces. It's like 2 and 2 is 4. It's simple math. Give them the carries, they will produce. So, having said that, Travis Etienne, kudos to you. Way to bounce back. You know you got that guy nipping at your heels. You took advantage of it. Breece Hall, the Robert Saleh, the coach of the Jets. I saw a post earlier in the week, which I knew. And I trust this guy because he's not lied to me before. Robert Saleh said that there will be no restrictions on Breece Hall and he would be unleashed on Sunday. And he kept true to his word. 22 for 177 and a touchdown. Thank you, Breece Hall. And thank you, Robert Saleh, for keeping your word. He's clear of the knee injury. He's back. And I'm glad to have him on my team. DJ Moore on Thursday. Showed up, showed out. Luke Getsy, Justin Fields, DJ Moore. They finally put it all together. And they blew out Washington. And kudos to DJ Moore because I know he had been waiting on that since he left Carolina. Next up, Glock Purdy. Wait, do we have any? Hold on. Let's check sound effects. Then they had to do him dirty. So we called him Glock Purdy. Glock Purdy. And we had to do him dirty. What they call him? What's his name? Then they called him. We gotta get some sounds for Glock Purdy. Yeah. Who's me? Where's the... I thought I had this set up. I'm sorry, y'all. I thought I had it set up. Damn.
Target locked.
No. That is not it.
Nice shot.
Oh shit.
Do it. Do it. Come on, kill me. I'm here. Come on, do it now. Kill me.
Oh my god, I can't believe I found that. Wow. What the hell? I had this. Sorry, y'all. When you click off the page and then you click back on, it like takes you all the way to the beginning, and I had everything like ready to go. So disregard. Glock Purdy is that good that I'm looking for his own sound. Ah, here we go. Glock Purdy. No interceptions on the year. 49ers 5-0. Threw 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Glock Purdy from last year to this year. And let me say this right now on camera. Listen, come closer, follow me. If Glock Purdy doesn't get hurt in the Eagles game, the 49ers go to the Super Bowl, not the Eagles. Glock Purdy. On the flying up the ranks. Cooper Kupp. Welcome back, Cooper Kupp. Welcome back. Welcome back, Cooper Kupp. I'm sure that Cheesehead missed you. Cooper Kupp came back, didn't miss a beat. Caught 7 balls. And even though they lost, I know that the Rams are happy to have him back. Honorable mention, you have Adam Thielen, who had 11 receptions on the day, even though it was for a losing cause for a losing team. So those are your flying up the ranks. Now, fast falling Fatum. Used to be Fatum whatever. Now it's fast falling Fatum. Fast falling Fatum. Fatum. First up, the entire Bills team. They can't get it together. Stephon Diggs arguing with Josh Allen. You lost 3 people on defense now. Tre'Davious White the week before. You lost Matt Milano, and you lost another defensive guy this game. It's getting to be a clown show. It's getting to be a clown show. I mean, come on. What are we doing, Bills? And it cost you on Sunday because you lost to the Jaguars, who you should have beat. Next up, the Broncos. Your coach is writing checks that you as a team can't cash. And it's confiscating Judy, stats, Cortland Sutton stats. They get Greg Dulcich back, but it's not going to matter. Like Russell Wilson stats, nobody's listening to the coach. I'm calling mutiny. This is over. Heads are going to have to roll. You're going to have to cut this team, cut the head off the snake. Cut the head off the snake and start over. The Broncos are a complete dumpster fire. Next up, Jordan Love. What happened to Jordan Love? I concur. The same thing. Jordan Love, multiple interceptions. You should have beat the Raiders. You only looked for Christian Watson when you had Romeo Doubs, you had 2 tight ends, you had everything, and you couldn't do anything. Next up, call the ambulance. Something needs to be done with Lamar Jackson, his receivers, because they're underachieving. I don't know what needs to be done, but it needs to be done. Like, I'm tired of this. You guys are winners. You guys aren't even, you have the best kicker in the league and you aren't even kicking field goals. You're going for it. Your receivers are dropping balls. Lamar Jackson looks horrible. You guys need to do better or your season is about to be over. And y'all might as well go to sleep. Next up. Next up is the Kansas City Chiefs, the refs, and their wide receivers on fading, falling fast. It's gonna only be so many games that the refs can cheat for you. You have no wide receivers. The best wide receiver that you have is Rashee Rice. Travis Kelce is getting old. He's already injured, even though he had 10 catches last game out of sheer will and not wanting to be embarrassed. But the refs can't. You're 4-1 because the refs helped you. You're barely winning games. Everybody sees it. You know, you're barely winning games. You're barely winning games, and the refs have helped you get to 4-1. You know, I got you guys on this list because when you face a good team like Miami in a couple weeks, you guys, I think, face Philly or whatever, you guys are going to be exposed as the frauds you are. All right, next up, here we go to the...
Si je voulais entendre un trou du cul, j'aurais pété.
Rooks that cook. Rooks that cook. Let's go ahead and get this started. Let's get it started up. Rooks that cook right now for this week, in week 5, CJ Stroud. No interceptions, set the rookie record for most yards. Texans supposed to be a winless team. He has done his magic, and he has proven that he should have been picked number 1 in the NFL. Injuries had to close the jail door on this next person. Devon Chan. Let's go ahead and take you to Southwest Regional. I salute you, sir. See you in 4 weeks. Devon Chan, who was lighting it up, hurt his knee. We still don't know what it is. I think it is a partially torn MCL. We'll be out for 4+ weeks. Kudos to you and what you did. We appreciate you. We salute you. get better, get well soon. But he tore it up for another game over 150 something yards with a 76-yard TD run. Thank you for your service, sir. Jordan Addison. You are the man now. Justin Jefferson out with a hamstring injury for the foreseeable future. For the next 4 weeks, we'll see what happens after that. Jordan Addison is the man now. Jordan Addison had a chance to win that game had the refs called the right call for pass interference, and he would have done that. Next rookie up that's cooking, Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice is proving in a horrible offense that he's the only receiver not named Kelsey that Patrick Mahomes can go to. Other than that, everyone get in here. Josh Downs is quietly is starting to become that slot receiver I knew that he would be. Gardner Minshew is looking for him more, and Anthony Richardson, before he got hurt, was looking for him as well. So that is your rooks that cook. Let's go to the rooks. Now, we used to have it as rooks that were shook. Now it's simplified. Rooks that crook. Rooks that crook are rookies that stole from you and did worse than you thought that they would do. So now we renamed it Rooks That Crook. Let's get it popping. First up in the Rooks That Crook. Let's see here. Smoke them if you got them. Yep. Rooks that crook. Bryce Young. Bryce Young, too small, has not lived up to the #1 billing. They have no choice but to give him more chances, and he ain't it. Next up, Bijan Robinson. It's not his fault. Some of you are saying, hey, Commissioner, you're crazy. Why put Bijan on this list and stuff like that? Because let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, that'll do it. Why do I have him on the list? Because 14 carries, 46 yards. Like, they take him out of the game so much, then they put him at slot receiver. I don't know what Atlanta's doing, but he's on the list because it's a waste of talent. Of talent. If you look at all these other backs that are getting the carries and stuff like that, they're doing better than Bijan. Like, I feel like that's what Arthur Smith is telling me. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, Ramon. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you know, use him correctly. He's not a wide receiver. He's a running back. Give him the carries. It's utterly frustrating. All right, moving on. Rum Diddy Dum Dum is right. Anthony Richardson, now 3 weeks. Injured in 3 consecutive weeks. Now this one is a AC joint sprain that will put him out for 4 to 8 weeks. Call the ambulance. 4 to 8 weeks in Southwest Regional. I think his season is over. Zay Flowers. Let's find a good one for you. Zay Flowers can't catch the ball. Amazing talent, but can't catch the ball. Like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? You know, like, what are we doing, Zay? I don't know, but I'm asking you, please, to catch the ball. You know. Tank Dell was doing good until Future told me that I need to start him, and I don't know if that was bad luck. And now Tank Dell is out in the concussion protocol. Yeah, pretty much. Next up.
Spinal.
That seems to be what the injury that Jahmyr Gibbs had, as he was a late scratch and cost Mikey, and also Saquon Barkley cost Mikey because he didn't take him out the lineup. But that's neither here nor there. Jahmyr Gibbs, healthy. They say he was hurt, but I think they don't know what to do with him. And it's going to be another DeAndre Swift thing. The good thing for you, Mikey, is that they will probably go ahead and trade him to a contender. So hold on to him. Next up, Jonathan Mingo. He was supposed to make a difference. He is not. All he is doing is showing that he's not worth anything. And they're giving 11 catches to Adam Thielen. He was supposed to add from the slot position, but they're using Laviska Shenault more than they're using Jonathan Mingo, where there is. So those are your rooks that crook for week 5. Next up, teams that pissed off the fantasy gods. Teams that pissed off the fantasy gods. In my exclamation, you have. Excuse me. You have the Pats getting blown out and not scoring 0 points. You pissed off the fantasy gods. The Commies. I thought Eric Bieniemy, I thought the defense was for real, but you got blown out by the Bears. Giants. Thought the Giants would get blown out, and sure enough that they did. By the Dolphins. No Saquon, no offensive line, no Danny Dimes, and now no hold on, give me a second. Get some water. No Darren Waller. Your season's over. You should have franchised Danny Dimes. You should have paid Saquon. It's over. Packers. Cheesehead can attest to this. The Packers looked like they were for real in the first couple of weeks. Frauds. Just like the Giants are frauds. Vegas Raiders are frauds. Frauds. You lost to the Raiders on Monday night. You only looked to throw to Christian Watson. I don't know what's wrong with Jordan Love. She said, call those guys and get them correct. Because I don't know what's going on. And now lastly, for teams that piss off the fantasy gods, the Dallas Cowgirls. You got blown out and embarrassed on Sunday Night Football. George Kittle had a FU Cowboy shirt on, which you guys are crying about now. You know, you didn't do. Yeah, you make your fans want to throw up. Dallas are frauds. I don't know how many years and how many times I have to tell people that Dallas are frauds. Moving on. Teams that need a win to save their season in the NFL and in Dynasty. First up, the Vikings. Vikings, I think their season is over. They lost JJ for over 4 weeks. Their season's over. Broncos, there's no cohesiveness in that unit. They've already started to trade players away. I think you're going to see a fire sale, and I think the Broncos' season is done. Next up, the Pats. Pats' season is done. I think they are quietly tanking for a top 5 quarterback pick. I think they're quietly tanking for a top 5 quarterback pick. And there you have that. Next up, Giants. Giants season is done. If I was Saquon, I would save myself. I would say that my ankle still hurt and don't come back. No Danny Dimes, no Darren Waller, no offensive line. Dunzo. Dunzo, Dunzo. Dunzo. As far as dynasty teams.
Hold on.
Canes gang. Teams that need to win to save their season. Canes gang sitting at 1-4. Is going to be in multiple categories. Needs a win to save a season. This is a guy who was in top 5 of most points, was in top 5 last year, best record, and has not made any trades. Is sitting with Mac Jones, Ryan Tannehill as his quarterbacks. Jackson Smith and Jigba is a fraud. Lost Nick Chubb. We send condolences for that. But Canes gang has utterly underperformed, and it is what it is. Make it, he needs a win. He needs a win. Struggling for wins right now. Next up, Mikey. Mikey was fined for not taking Saquon Barkley out of his lineup. That's how bad his lineup is. The quarterback positions. Danny Dimes, Lamar Jackson have not helped. I know it hurts. Reload the gun. Reload the gun. I feel you, Mikey. Mikey, I feel you. I know the team is bad. I know Jahmyr Gibbs has failed you, but you got to set your lineup. Next up, Cheesehead. Cheesehead. Too many Packers in the lineup. Talk to the Packers, tell them to do something, or rotate your lineup because it cost you. But I am glad to have you as a neighbor in the bottom. Next up, Future.
Sir, yes, sir.
I know you thought you were going to be a contender this year. That trade that you made hurt you. Hold on. Kyler Murray's not playing this year. JJ out for the foreseeable future. I know that heartbeat. No? No heartbeat? Okay. Let's do the panic. No JJ. Oh man. No Dalvin Cook. Breece Hall took that. It's looking grim, my friend. The only good that will come out of it, but you don't really need quarterback because you got Joe Burrow and Glock Purdy. You'll get a top 5 pick, but basically, it's time to ring the alarm. Because I don't see any way out of this. I don't. You may need to make a trade or something to save your season. And last but not least, sound the alarm at 0-5. 0-5. Boston Henny. Go to the nearest Dunkin'. For those that you didn't know, in Boston, they just call it Dunkin'. They don't call it Dunkin' Donuts. They just call it Dunkin'. Go to your nearest Dunkin', right? All right. I know it's gonna be a little scary for you. Go to your nearest Dunkin'. Get the Ice Spice combo because it's over, Poppy. You're 0-5. Anybody who's been in this league, and we've all been in this league 3+ years, knows that there is a way to the playoffs with no more than 6 to 7 losses. You already have 5, my friend. And like, I feel that you and Kane's gang are tanking the season because you guys want to get in on the Caleb Williams sweepstakes. But it is what it is. You need a win. Let's see what happens in week 6. Next up, make a trade and save your season. First up, Whoa. Don't talk about Henny like that. All right. Teams that need to make a trade and save their season. Henny. You haven't had no injuries, man. There's other people that have had injuries. It ain't working out for you at 0-5, Papo. You need to make a trade, save your season, and maybe do something. Kane's game. Kane's game, you have no quarterbacks. I know you're hoping to get one in the next draft, but right now you're at 1-4. If Henny gets a win, you're going to be up there with Henny. Do you want to be like that? Make a trade, save your season. Next up.
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Oh, my God.
Is Future. Future, you got the quarterbacks, you don't have anything else. Now you lost JJ. It's time, man. It's time. You got your picks. You got a few good players. Make a trade and save your season. Next up, as we always do, the award-winning You Are Who We Thought You Were.
No, we just, the Bears are what we thought they were. They're what we thought they were. We played them in preseason. Who the hell takes a third game in the preseason like it's bullshit? We played them in the third game. Everybody played 3 quarters. The Bears are who we thought they were. That's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
As you just heard in the words of the late, great Denny Green, you are who we thought you were. Next up, first of You Are Who We Thought You Were, the champ. The champ goes to 5-0. Quietly does it. We don't really hear from him because he is on a overnight mission. And I want to give kudos to the champ. 5-0, you are who we thought you were, and you just got Jonathan Taylor back. Next up, Teddy. Teddy, the silent assassin. You know what? Before we start that, let's hear some more from the late, great Denny Green.
Bullshit. We played in the third game. Everybody played three quarters. The Bears are who we thought they were. That's why everybody played three quarters. The Bears are who we thought they were.
Teddy, you are who we thought you were. Teddy has been the silent assassin, has gone quietly into this season, and is now 5-0, kicking ass and taking names, even though he just lost James Conner, and I don't think that he paid attention to that. But when you're 5-0, like Teddy, who cares? You know, tell him, Denny.
That's why we took the damn field.
Exactly, that's what Teddy would say. That's why we took the damn field. He don't care about that. He don't care about losing James Conner. Next man up. You know, Teddy, 5-0, you are who we thought you were. Next up, I used to call him the nose of the Miami boys, but now after 3 consecutive wins and a stud of the week,
that's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass.
We're not going to crown you just yet, Goggles, but you are stud of the week. Kudos on the win. You are who we thought you were. You are playing like the first ever Miami Boys champion that I knew that you were. Let's see if you can keep it up, especially after losing Devon A-Chain. So let's see what happens. All right, because it's going to come at you in reality real quick. Next up, let's see here. Excuse me, guys. Now we've come to the end of the segment before we go into the sleeper app for results. You wanted it, you know it, you need it. How the mighty have fallen. How the mighty have fallen. Oh, how the mountains are crawling now. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Such a long way down. Such a long way down, the mighty have fallen. First up on the list, Kane's Gang. Like I said earlier in the video, Kane's Gang went from being top 5 in most points, top 5 in best record, making the playoffs.
Careful, SpongeBob! Careful, SpongeBob! Careful, SpongeBob! Careful, SpongeBob!
Stop.
Shut
Shut up, guys. To now, Kane's Gang is an afterthought at 1-4. Kane's Gang, you know. Guys, please stop it. Okay? Stop it. All right. So, Kane's Gang is the first on the mighty have fallen. Now sitting at 1-4. A couple more losses and his season is over. He has yet to make a trade. I don't think he wants to make a trade. He has no quarterbacks. Kane's Gang is really struggling right now. Next up.
Wake up, filthy.
This guy was on the top of the world a couple of weeks ago, but now Chino, you are, and how the mighty have fallen. You were undefeated. You were gonna run roughshod, gangbusters over the league. and you got a couple of shots to the gut. Sorry that San Francisco benched all their players. You were running roughshod. You had 3 stud of the weeks, and now you've got 2 losses on your belt, Papo. Now you but let's hear me out. Hear me out. You have a chance now to get it all back because you have Austin Eckler back. I know that Austin Eckler being out hurt you, but now you have a chance to get it all back. But being that you had 2 losses, I had to put you in the category on how the mighty have fallen. And that is it for how the mighty have fallen, but I do have an honorable mention, Poppy Henny. Poppy Henny, you are on honorable mention of how the mighty have fallen because you had more wins than this last year. Now you have 0 wins with the same team. Don't know how that goes, but that's all I hear with your team. That's all I hear is frog croaks because you have no wins and your team sucks. So there you have it. Let's go over to Sleeper now. And let's go over the week that was. In week 5, let's go over that. Then we go over week 6. Then we will end the video by going over the weekly review. First up, Axe Capital 299.38 beat Poppy Henny 181.51. Tap yourself on the back, Poppy Henny. You were not doormat. Next up, the champ, the commish 325.80 beat Sean in the game of the week 307.48. Sean put up in a losing effort. Next up, the face of the Miami Boys Dynasty Goggles. So he says 382.16 beat Kane's Gang 209.80 for Goggles to be the stud of the week. Next up, Mikey. FEC Mikey put up 138.29. Haven't seen that in a very long time. I think I did that last year. And got beat by Future, who's not that much better. 216.04 in the stinker of the week. Future wins the game. Mikey, you are doormat of the week. Please send $25 to the Zelle, to the doormat fund. And last up, Cheesehead 258.38 loses to Teddy 312.49. Teddy pulls out the win and is 5-0. And Cheesehead at 2-3 continues to live with us at the bottom. Week 6 preview. You have Axe Capital versus Teddy. Axe Capital versus Teddy in what I am deeming the game of the week. You have the champ versus the doormat. You have the commish, George Rodriguez at 5-0 versus FEC Mikey at 2-3. Next up, you have Chino. Chino gets Austin Eckler back. Beware of that Future. Future without JJ goes against Chino in the co-game of the week. Cheesehead versus Kane's Gang. Cheesehead versus Kane's Gang. Hopefully Cheesehead and his Packers will get it together. Kane's Gang versus Cheesehead. Hopefully Kane's Gang will pick the right quarterback for the job. Next up, you have the 0-5 Poppy Henny versus the face of the Miami Boys Dynasty, the People's Champ, Goggles at 3-2. I don't think this is going to be a contest, but you never know. So there you have it. Those are your Week 6 matchups. Let's go ahead and let's get to the weekly report and put the women and children to bed. All right. Best manager was Goggles. Goggles set a lineup that was 96% of their perfect possible lineup of 399.69. He scored 382.16. Kudos to you, Gogs. Good shit. Worst manager was Mikey. Mikey had a possible lineup of 192.05 and ended up scoring 138.29. Biggest blowout, Goggles beat Kane's gang by a margin of 82.2%. Goggles 382.16 to Kane's gang 209.8. Narrowest victory, the champ beat Sean by 6%, 325.8 to 307.48. Highest score was Goggles for the start of the week at 382.16. Lowest score of the week was FEC Mikey at 138.29, making him doormat of the week. Overachiever of the week was Goggles. Their projection of 264 was beaten by 45% as he scored 382.16. You're welcome for Miami Boys points. Below expectation was Mikey, who should have scored 214.86, a markup of 36%, but only ended up scoring 138.29. Quarterback of the week was for yours truly, Justin Fields with 67.7. Running back of the week was for yours truly with 79.6, and Breece Hall. Wide receiver of the week was for Teddy, DJ Moore, with 98.4. We all know the week that he had. Don't be surprised. Tight end of the week was Hendricks with Dallas Goedert, 54.3. Quarterback benchwarmer of the week was Hendricks with 64.39, with a kind of yin and yang upset. Running back benchwarmer of the week was Teddy with Zach Moss with 84.3. Woo! Teddy would have been star of the week. So I'm sure Goggles is happy for that. Wide receiver benchwarmer of the week was for Cheesehead with George Pickens with 54.2. Cheesehead, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Let's go for that. 54.2. Tight end benchwarmer of the week was Dalton Schultz for Sean with 32.7. So there you have it, my friends. There is your wrap up, your preview of week 6. Let's go. Let's make it happen. We're getting into the meat and potatoes about this. Remember, trade deadline is coming up. Make yourselves aware of the trade deadline. Second of all, also for Mikey and other people, when I post, and yes, I am trying to be funny, but when I post the Southwest Regional injury situations, I'm doing it not for my benefit. If my player's hurt, then I know my player's hurt. But I, as the co-commish, and not giving you any excuses, I'm doing it for your benefit. So if you don't have it on, turn on your alerts for a sleeper. Make sure you look at the sleeper app. Whatever time you wake up, make sure it's before 1. Look at the sleeper app and see if your players are out via the hospital injury report. That's what I do to help you. That way I limit your excuses. So when you get fined, you don't have any excuses. So know your players, know who's starting, know who's hurt, know who's playing. All right? That's it for me. I'm out. Good night. I will see you week 6.